What's up, everybody, and welcome to our college basketball Saturday big game breakdown. If you've listened to our podcast in the past, you know my name is Logan. With me in the studio, Nick Von Brick.
Yo.
On the ones and twos, as usual, Bam Barrero.
Yo.
This is not an official podcast, but this is going to be our college basketball best bets for the upcoming Saturday slate of games. We're going to try to do this. We've talked about it in the past. We're going to try to do a Monday night, Friday night thing, so you'll have all of our best bets for the two biggest days in college basketball, Tuesday and Saturday. Since it's the first one we've done, which I've already been giving out solo plays for my play of the day on the YouTube page, all easily accessible. I post them everywhere. But since it's the first time we've done this, we're going to do a lay of the land. The top 10 rankings outside of Duke and Auburn. We're going to give you who we think has a chance to win it all, because Duke and Auburn are the clear-cut obvious choices currently. We're going to touch on a couple things, and then we'll give you our best bets for Saturday. I think we both currently have 3. I may do another play of the day video if I want to add something. But yeah, we're going to try to make some money. I've already started. Hasn't been off to the best start. It was reminiscent of last year. Got off to a slow start. Got very hot in the middle. It feels like I'm starting late though. Did it not feel that way to you?
Yeah, it normally feels that way.
Yeah, I went back and looked. It was like almost to the exact same day. It was like January 28th. I ended up with like 120 plays. So a lot of games. It's been a tough go. A couple bad beats mixed in there, but that's the thing about college basketball. My God, it is, at least in football, you can see the drive coming, and it's an overtime type of thing. In college basketball, it's highs and lows, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. It's such a sweat. But when it's going well, there's nothing better. Couple things I wanted to talk about before we get into the games. Y'all saw YouTube TV?
No.
Okay. I'm so sick and tired of this streaming era. I wish we could bring back cable. Whatever, or DirecTV, Charter, it doesn't matter. I switched to YouTube TV because Charter wasn't going to get the college football games like 2 years ago. I remember they had a blackout restriction with ESPN, I think it was. And it was the first game of the year. I canceled that shit right away, got YouTube TV. YouTube TV was one of the cheapest options on the market. Year after year, these guys are increasing the prices. Well, they came out less than a week ago and said that they couldn't come to an agreement with Paramount. So you're going to lose a lot of channels and a lot of things that Paramount offers. Do you know the number one thing that Paramount offers? CBS. You know who has the exclusive broadcasting rights to the March Madness tournament, Bam? CBS.
So TBS?
I don't know about TBS. That's Turner, right? No, that's TNT. I don't know if they're – I'm not sure. But
TBS, True TV.
Yeah. TNT. Regardless, we need CBS. So updated outcome is that they have agreed to today, like literally a couple hours ago, they said they agreed to an extension of services, temporary extension of services. But it's like, how long? Because it better be at least 2 months.
Oh, yeah, you know, right? When March Madness
like,
is coming,
see you later.
CBS is going to strong-arm the fuck out of them.
Dude, YouTube TV better pay it. That's the thing. They were the cheapest option, and it was like, wow, you get everything. You only pay whatever the fuck it was, $60 a month. Well, now they keep going up and up and up each time. It's like, I just want to go back to cable. Just bring me back to the old days, where if you had to decide if you wanted to pay for HBO or not, the 500 channels. Those were the good days. Now, dude, I've got fucking YouTube TV, Hulu, Netflix. I got to get fucking Peacock when the NFL hose out their games to Peacock, and then I got to cancel that. You go down the list, it's so many streaming services because it's just who goes to the highest bidder. I'll tell you right now, dude, YouTube TV, you better fucking have the March Madness tournament or you won't have my business. I will get whoever's got it outside of you as fast as humanly possible. I just want to go back to the glory days of TV.
Yeah.
Either you put a dish on your fucking house or you pay for Charter. It was simple. Worst customer service in the history of mankind. But you got all your channels. Last thing. Patrick Mahomes Sr. Patrick Mahomes Sr. is set to fight John Rocker at a Barstool Rough and Rowdy. What is your first thought on that?
Yeah, I knew that fool was going to get in some type of foolishness.
Patrick Mahomes Sr.?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, I thought he was probably going to get arrested.
Well, what gave it away? The 3 previous arrests?
Yeah.
For DUI?
It kind of dawned on me after we recorded the Super Bowl episode. I was like,
he might drink and drive.
That guy's a drunk, isn't he?
Yeah.
Going to New Orleans.
Yeah, so there was a video that went viral on Bourbon Street of John Rocker and Patrick Mahomes Sr. having an incident where they were kind of face-to-face. People were separating them. John Rocker threw a drink at their feet. A lot of people are speculating that it could have been kind of staged to set up this fight, because a couple guys at Barstool had mentioned that they had a big rough and rowdy fight kind of in the works. And then Dave Portnoy made a video that the contracts are signed. My first thought is, why? Like, if you're Patrick Mahomes, the good one, you've got to be like, what the fuck, dude? Can I pay you to not fucking get in the media in a negative way? Just go away. Your son is the best quarterback in football and is on the fast track to be the best quarterback of all time. And you can't stop drinking and driving. And now you want to go to West Virginia to fight in a 3 1-minute round backyard fucking hillbilly rough and rowdy fight with John Rocker. It's if it happens, because there's reports that Patrick Mahomes, that his team is like doing everything they can to make this not happen, but apparently his dad drunkenly signed the contract already. So they're trying to make this not happen, and I don't blame them, but I want to see it. John Rocker's fucking huge.
Yeah.
Like, huge. I don't know much about his pitching, but I know he was the one who got a lot of notoriety because he was like, I'm not too fond of foreigners. He was talking about New York. It's like, I got to ride the subway with, he said, like an Indian and then somebody with purple hair. And he just said, like, literally everything you can't say today, he said it back in like the 90s. So, but he's a giant dude. I would imagine he would fuck Patrick Mahomes Sr. up, but maybe not.
Yeah.
That's why you got to get in the squared circle and figure it out. But my God, you want to talk about a bad look. Poor Patrick Mahomes, dude. He doesn't do anything to get in the media, but every other member of his family does everything they possibly can to, like, bring him down.
Yeah.
Between his brother, his wife, spraying the fucking champagne on everybody, and then his dad, it's like, dude can't catch a break. What do you think, Bam, what do you think the likelihood of this fight happening is? Percentage-wise.
27%.
Okay.
I think that they'll pay him off or they're going to have, if he already signed the contract, then they're going to have to pay Barstool or something.
Yeah, they'd be able to, I'm sure they would be able to figure out a way out of it. But he is his dad, and if he really wants to do it, and he's already signed the contract, nobody can make him not do it. I mean, I'm sure Patrick Mahomes could be like, I'm not going to let you fucking come to the Super Bowls anymore. I would put it 50-50 right now. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think it probably doesn't happen.
It would be sick if it did, though. Jose Canseco got in there. Jose Canseco fought Billy Football. I hope it does. It would be incredible if it does. It would be but it's only 3 1-minute rounds, so it's like you can't do a ton of damage, and then it's like you kind of walk away from that like, oh, God. Like, I can see why they don't want him to do it.
Yeah.
It's like there's no way you come out of that looking good because he's not going to, like, piece him up. You don't have enough time to wear him down or anything. So it's not like everybody's like, wow, he can really box. It's either you're going to get fucked up or you're just going to look old and it's going to be like, why'd we do this? So, but I'd watch it. All right. Top 10, the way it currently stands, and we'll update this each time we get back in here. You've got at number 1, and we're going in by the AP poll, not the coaches poll. Number 1, Auburn. Number 2, Alabama. Number 3, Duke. Number 4, Florida. Number 5, Tennessee. Number 6, Houston. Number 7, Purdue. Number 8, Texas A&M. Number 9, St. John's. And number 10, Iowa State. Outside of, and we talked about this a little bit before, I've obviously been a little more in the mix with college basketball the last few weeks. You're going to work your way up to it in preparation for the tournament. That's another thing. We typically have success in the March Madness tournament. Our round of 32 will go. We should hang a banner in the rafters for what we did in the round of 32, not losing a single betting, I think, every single game. Maybe it was the Sweet 16, whatever it was. We had to get in there at like 1 a.m. to get it out in time and then didn't lose a single bet. So outside of Auburn and Duke, who would you say has the best chance of winning? If you had to hit your wagon to one team, who would it be?
Oh, jeez.
It can fluctuate.
So last
as
week,
it currently stands,
the big win was Florida against Auburn. So I would say maybe Florida. Yeah, they got a couple big guys that are skilled, huh?
Yeah, Florida. I would probably lean Florida too. Florida's extremely impressive. Condon, Alex Condon, I think is his full name. He got hurt 30 seconds into their game the other day, and Florida still was able to come out with the win. They have Walter Clayton Jr., obviously, who's been there. But yeah, then Condon's a big who can do kind of whatever you need him to do. But their defense, that's the big thing. Their defense is arguably just as good as the offense. Yeah, Alex Condon's averaging double digits. And then you've got the guard combination of Walter Clayton Jr., Elijah Martin, and Will Richard. But all of them are shooting at 34% or better from the three-point line. Walter Clayton Jr. is 36.4%. But yeah, Alex Condon, 10 points a game, 8 rebounds. Like I said, he hurt his ankle, but it was more of it was like a high ankle sprain. I don't think it's anything that's going to be a long-term thing. I would lean Florida, and then if I had to pick another one just for the sake of it, I already have Texas Tech. I've made that known. I took Texas Tech 35-1. I think Texas Tech has all the pieces that you need. They're sitting at number 12 currently. They had a big-time win in overtime. Not big time, but a hard-fought win against Arizona State. I would say, I don't think St. John's is going to – I think it's a good story. I think they're a very good defensive and rebounding team. You have to be able to – it's like Houston. St. John's is a poor man's Houston from what we're accustomed to in the last few years, and you see Houston come up short time and time again, you know?
Yeah.
Because – which, granted, Houston's a little bit different of a team this year, meaning they're hitting all their threes from the outside. But you have to have a go-to scorer, which Houston, they had Sasser that one year he was hurt. They've always kind of had it, and then he either gets hurt late in the season or they're just overwhelming you with their activity on the boards and all of that, and they're lacking the go-to guy. Tennessee, same thing. Great defensive team. Zakai Ziegler's not somebody that's going to carry you through the tournament on the offensive side of the ball. Chaz Lanier is too inconsistent in my opinion. He can get hot, but he's not and same thing with Jordan Gainey, also not consistent enough. They're one of those teams that can beat anybody. They can beat Auburn. We saw them go toe-to-toe 53-51. They lost. Offense clearly didn't show up, but the defense does. But you have to be able to be ready for anything. It's like what we saw with UConn. Multiple guys that can have a big night if other guys are having an off night, a defense that you can lean on if you're not able to hit shots from the outside, but also the ability to get hot from the outside. So Auburn's that team. Duke's that team. Alabama is very reliant on the three ball and running and gunning. But Florida has that ability where Walter Clayton Jr. is going to be able to put the ball in the basket and go get you a bucket in crunch time. You got to have that guy. You got to have rim protection. I'm going down the list of – there's just certain teams that are lacking key pieces that'll be the reason that they might make a run, but they're not going to win at all. Houston's one of those where Crier's playing great, shooting the ball well. I don't know what it is with Houston. Houston, it is like an enigma to me every single year where same thing, they can beat anybody, but they come up short because I literally can't even put my finger on it, per se. I don't know why. Because they play great defense. They rebound just as good as anybody in the country. They're playing. It's a little down this year from what we're used to, but they're shooting it much better. They're like 9th in the nation in three-point percentage. Maybe it's the primary ball handler. There's not somebody like if you took, off the top of my head, like DeJuan Harris from Kansas and put him on Houston, somebody to just kind of settle the offense and kind of regroup when shit gets haywire because they play in a lot of high-intensity games where it's a lot of back and forth sometimes. Just somebody to kind of cool everything down. But so that's where the top 10 stands currently. Like I said, I have the future 35-1 on Texas Tech. All right. What are we, 15 in? We'll get to our best bets for Saturday. It sounds like we both have a play on Arkansas, Texas A&M.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
Yeah, I guess so. There's not a whole much. Texas A&M strength is their defense. They have a top 10 defense and schedule adjusted defensive efficiency. Offensively, they don't play with a lot of pace. They don't really do hardly anything that great on offense. Arkansas, a little bit consistent start to start SEC play. But lately, they've been playing a little bit better. Won 4 of their last 6 games. They beat Kentucky and Texas convincingly. Lost close ones to Oklahoma and Alabama. I get it's not the best matchup for Arkansas here, but it seems like 8.5 points is too many. So I'm going to go Arkansas plus 8.5.
Okay. Yeah, the Kentucky, that was Calipari's return. So easy to get caught up in the extracurriculars there. That was a good game from them, and a good second half, if I remember correctly, where Kentucky's defense just went by the wayside. And then to turn right back around 4 days later, go on the road again, go to Austin and get a win against a quality Texas team. That was also impressive. 4-point loss to Alabama. Arkansas is playing their best basketball at the right time. They're and they need this bad.
Yeah.
You got A&M, 8th team in the nation. Arkansas needs this. They need to stack quality wins. Let's see. Who do they even have left? They got a lot of opportunities, but on deck you got Auburn. You can't love your chances there on the road. And then Missouri and Texas. So it's like they're going to need to get – if they could win 2 of those games, they'll probably find their way into the tournament. I'm going to go under 140. Reason being, like you just mentioned, A&M's number 6th in adjusted defensive efficiency. They're also 235th in tempo. Arkansas is 103rd, but they will get out and run the fast break. They're around 40th in fast break points. But A&M, 235th in tempo, 241st in fast break points, and then perimeter defense both rank in the top 80. Sorry, dude, I do this every single time where I can't read a fucking thing I write. Both are inside top 80 in perimeter defense. A&M 307th in 3-point percentage. Arkansas is not great at 174th. Translation: A&M at home with the home court. They're going to want to slow it down, trust their half-court defense. They struggle to shoot it from the outside mightily. They don't have a ton of go-to guys to score. They're going to try to turn you over and get extra possessions, and they really attack the boards. Arkansas is going to have to – I'm interested to see. It's going to be contrasting styles where Arkansas is going to want to get out and run. A&M is going to want to slow it down. What's going to happen? But with a team like A&M that wants to play so slow and they don't shoot it well from the outside, you have limited possessions. I think 140. This is like a race to 65 to win. I don't think we see this one hit 140. So I'm going to go under 140 as my first play for Saturday. You are going to take Arkansas plus 8.5. Correct?
Yep.
All right. Next game, let's talk about Houston and Arizona. Are you on this one?
Yeah.
Okay. I am going to take, right to it, I'm going to take Houston minus 1.5 on the road. We're going to lay the points. Houston's the number 3rd ranked team in Ken Palm. I hold Kelvin Sampson and his ability to coach very high regard. I think he's a great coach. The ability to reload year after year. The guard combination, like we touched on, Cryer. The biggest thing is Emmanuel Sharp dealing with the ligament injury in his foot. Is he going to be able to go? He played last game on limited minutes, so he's going to play. But how effective is he going to be? Houston's shooting the ball great from the outside. They're 9th in the nation in 3-point percentage. Arizona's 294th. Reason being is their leading scorer is Caleb Love. So if you've followed college basketball at all in years past, you know Caleb Love from when he was at North Carolina. He's bounced and made his way on over to Arizona. He shoots a lot. He can get hot and go on a run, and then he can get ice cold, and he's still going to shoot. He's going to throw shit off the backboard. He's going to take contested shots, and then he's going to hit 3/4 court buzzer beaters to force overtime. And I think he's hit a couple half-court heaves this year. You can rely on Houston's defense and rebounding, even though I feel like it's not as elite as what we've been used to in years past. It's still very much top tier. Rebounding is the worry here, which is crazy to say against for a Houston Cougars team that normally dominates the boards. Arizona's 9th in the nation in rebounds, but offensive rebounds, Houston's got the edge. They're 29th. I don't think you're going to body Houston on the boards. You're not going to beat them up on the boards. You may win the rebounding battle, but you're not going to dominate it. Arizona doesn't shoot it well enough from the outside. Houston's all of a sudden shooting the lights out of the ball, but you can rely on Juwan Roberts down low. They have the rotating door of bigs that they kind of throw in there around him. So we're going to lay 1.5 points with the Houston Cougars on the road. I'm not a believer in this Arizona team, and I'm certainly not a believer in Caleb Love. I could be wrong, but we'll find out. Which way are you going?
Yeah, I'm on the same side. Houston minus 1.5. You touched on everything, basically. Opposing styles, Arizona plays with a lot more pace than Houston. Arizona ranking inside the top 50 in tempo. Houston ranks outside the top 350 in pace. So there's only less than a handful of teams that place lower than Houston. Mm-hmm. Houston defensively still very good, number one in raw defensive efficiency, number one in opponent points per game, number 6 in opponent field goal percentage. You kind of touched on it. Perimeter defense for Houston has dropped off a little bit. 90th in the nation, though, is still not bad.
No,
there's
of course
364 Division I college basketball teams. So when you're talking about 90th, it's just not up to the standard that they've had the past couple years in 2024, where they were 11th, and 2023, where they were second.
Yeah.
You mentioned it. Fortunately for Houston, Arizona's not a good three-point shooting team like they've been in the past 2 years.
Yeah.
Where they were one of the best three-point shooting teams in the nation. You kind of mentioned it. The rebounding advantage for Houston isn't going to be as drastic as it normally is against any other team that they would normally play.
Yeah.
The only thing that kind of concerns me here is Houston playing on the road here. If they somehow get into foul trouble, I know I don't think they're a team known for committing a whole bunch of fouls, but they do play hard defense. So you wonder.
Yeah, it's the style of reffing. Is it going to be ticky-tack, or are we going to let them play?
And Arizona's one of the top free throw shooting teams in the nation, shooting 77% from the free throw line. So
yeah, this is another situation, too, where you have Houston, who plays very slow, 360th in adjusted tempo. Arizona's the complete opposite. They want to run. And it's going to be whose style prevails. So, but dude, I mean, I've been on Houston a couple times this year. I've faded them a couple times. They shoot the shit out of the ball, and they get you. They're so good at the offensive rebounds and getting the extra opportunities on a kick out for another opportunity from three. Time and time again, they'll find Emmanuel Sharp in the corner, and he'll hit a three after a miss. So, it would take foul trouble. It would take like a unforeseen circumstances style of game, in my opinion, for Arizona to win this game. Like exactly that. They're going to have to get Houston into foul trouble. Some people got to sit, and then they're just kind of running them out the gym type of thing. I trust Kelvin Sampson to get it done. So we're in agreement there. Houston minus 1.5. The other one, the clear biggest game of the weekend, you've got Auburn going on the road to Alabama, number 1, number 2. And we may be on opposite sides here.
No, I don't know.
Okay, so I'll go with my thought process. Number 1, number 2 in the AP poll. Per KenPom, Auburn's number 1, offensively 17th, defensively. Alabama's number 2, offensively 40th, defensively. It's the same Alabama team that we're accustomed to under Nate Oates, where they shoot a shitload of threes and they want to run like crazy. They turn the ball over a lot. That's kind of their Achilles heel. If they could minimize turnovers, Alabama can beat anybody in the country on any given night. I lean Auburn, especially. So the line's grown to 2.5. I'd be surprised if there's a 3 at this point. Let's double check real quick. Yeah, 2.5. I think Auburn's the more reliable team. You're kind of living or dying by the 3, like I said, with Alabama. So if they're not hitting from the outside, I'm not a huge believer in Mark Sears. It's been a weird season for Sears. He is a good player, but he's been benched for a couple halves here and there. Alabama's shooting the shit out of the ball the last 2 weeks or so. If they can carry that over into this game, they're probably going to win this game. But Auburn can shoot the ball pretty well too. They have a lot of guys that can hit from the outside, and then they've got the best player on the court in Janai Broome. You make an argument that Janai Broome's the best player in the country. I would lean Cooper Flagg. In the 2 games they played last year, Janai Broome had 25 points for 14 rebounds in the first matchup. Second matchup, he had 24 points, 7 rebounds. So they haven't had a whole lot of luck stopping him. They did bring in Cliff Umarori from Rutgers, so they brought in some size. I'm interested to see who they throw at Janai Broome in terms of just trying to make his day difficult. I think I'm going to take the number 1 team in the country here, plus 2.5. I think I don't know. The home court advantage doesn't really worry me per se all that much. I think Auburn lost by 4 points last year on Alabama's home court. They went to Auburn. Auburn blew them out. But this Auburn team's the real deal, dude. They really are. And I think they have more. They can withstand multiple different styles of game scripts and have success, whereas Alabama needs it to go pretty much one way. You know?
Yeah.
Which way are you leaning?
So originally, I liked Alabama. Kind of thought this game should be maybe closer to a pick 'em, but Alabama being at home, laying only 1.5. I wanted to take that. It seems like those are disappearing. It's 2 and 2.5. I don't know if I want to lay that much with a team that I don't think is as good as the other team. So, I don't know. It's the number 1 and number 2 offense in the nation. I think what kind of gets overlooked here, though, are the defenses, especially the perimeter defenses. I'm going to go ahead and shoot at the under 172.5.
Okay. Yeah, I mean,
it's a super high.
Yeah, that's
total. So
yeah, I agree. I wouldn't feel. Auburn's path to victory is to slow this down. You don't want to. Same thing. It's the trending topic of these games. You do not want to get into a track meet with Alabama because they want to run like crazy. They are number 2 in adjusted tempo. So that's Auburn's path, is to slow it down, play through Janai Broome, let him make good decisions, and kick it out to the guys that are open. They have 6 scores in double figures. They have 3 people 40% or better from the 3-point line. Chad Baker-Mazara's 37%. There's just way more to go around for Auburn. Like I said, I feel like they can play a slow style. They can play a run and gun style if they have to. But yeah, I think we see them slow this game down and limit possessions for Alabama. And okay. So yeah, I'm going to take Auburn plus 2.5. You're going to take under 170 what?
Under 172.5.
Okay. All righty. And that's your last one?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going with one more to close it out. So I will have 4 plays. I am going to go with Michigan State plus 6 on the road against Illinois. Might be a little square side of a play here, but Michigan State's coming off. They actually lost 3 out of their last 4. The lone win in the mix of that 4-game stretch was against Oregon, 86-74. I just think it's too many points. I think same thing. I hold Tom Izzo in a high regard. I think they play good enough defense. Jace Richardson's the real deal in terms of being able to put the ball on the floor and create and score the basketball. Jason Richardson's son. They have a lot of guys that have been here for a while, Aikens specifically. I just don't see on those losses, you were on the road against USC. They lost by 6. On the road against UCLA, they lost by 2. They lost to Indiana by 4, a game in which they were leading there. Early on, they jumped out to a quick lead against Indiana, and then Indiana closed the gap by halftime and pulled away in the second half. But they're not getting blown out. I'm going to take Michigan State here, plus 6. I think it's too many points. So that is my 4 plays for Saturday. I am going with Texas A&M, Arkansas under 140, Houston minus 1.5, Auburn plus 2.5, and Michigan State plus 6.
We're going Arkansas plus 8.5, Houston minus 1.5, and the Auburn, Alabama under 172.5.
All right. You got anything to say before we go?
Nope.
All right, there you go. That is our best bets for college basketball Saturday. Like I said, we are going to try to get back in Monday night, I suppose, and give you our best bets for Tuesday. March is just around the corner. There's a lot of games. You got conference championships coming up. You got some high-level, really good basketball. A lot of games to pick from. So money to be made. We might as well make it. We appreciate y'all tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe button. Y'all have a good one.